The Megyn Kelly Donald Trump interview.
Ooh.
From Transanity.
I'm Eloise. I am 6.
To DeSantis.
Fauciism was destructive.
To lockdowns, vaccines, Fauci, and accountability.
What?
On that last one, yeah, not so much.
It is what it is.
I'm Jazz Berganzo, and this
Everything woke turns to shit.
is what's next. What's up, everyone? Jazz Berganzo, what's next? Your daily dose. Happy Saturday. Of course, this is the weekend edition. The Megyn Kelly Donald Trump interview. I'm sure a number of you have already seen it. I did. There were a number of good, bad, and of course ugly things that came out of it. But we're going to concentrate on 2 points. One of them, Donald Trump's thoughts on transgenderism. And of course, also he had to bring, Ron DeSantis's views on it. Also, when it comes to the lockdowns, COVID year, vaccines, elevating Fauci, accountability, and responsibility. Those last 2, yeah, not so much. But then again, after everything we've seen of Donald Trump, I'm not surprised. Here we go. All right, this is the first part. This comes out of the Blaze. Ron DeSantis, Megyn Kelly hammered Donald Trump over wishy-washy stance on if a man can become a woman. Yes, what is a woman, to quote the great philosopher Matt Walsh? Trump was also asked about transgender issues on her show. Kelly noted that Trump declared in 2016 that Caitlyn Jenner would be free to use any bathroom Jenner wanted to if Jenner walked into Trump Tower. Kelly highlighted how in 2012, Trump partnered with the Gay and Lesbian Alliance Against Defamation, GLAAD, to allow transgender models to compete for the Miss Universe Canada title. At the time, Trump owned Miss Universe franchise. She asked if Trump had changed his opinion on transgender issues since 2016. Yeah, well, I have, Trump responded, and then quickly shifted the topic to his ban on transgender soldiers in the U.S. military. And that lasted about 15 minutes before the higher-ups in the military said, yeah, we're going to flip it back. Trump said about his policy on transgender individuals being allowed in spaces for women, my stance is on really pretty much of what I had in the military. However, Trump said of Jenner, I may have allowed Jenner, of course, now runs around calling himself Caitlyn. I knew Caitlyn as Bruce. I knew Bruce. Bruce was a great athlete and a very handsome person, a very handsome guy. And all of a sudden, Bruce is Caitlyn. Yes, that's right. He woke up one day saying, hey, you know what? Sometimes you feel like a nut. Yeah, today, I don't. When asked about he would institute a ban on puberty blockers for minors, Trump responded, I think yes, I would. Kelly then asked, can a man become a woman? There was a slight delay before Trump said, and then he chuckled. In my opinion, you have a man, you have a woman, Trump continued. I think part of it is birth. Can that man give birth? No.
Can a man become a woman?
In my opinion, you have a man, you have a woman. I think part of it is birth. Can the man give birth? No. Although they'll come up with some.
Yeah. DeSantis then slammed Trump for his answer during a Friday appearance at the Concerned Women for America's Legislative Action Committee Leadership Summit. Wow, that's a long one. Some people say we should leave woke alone, DeSantis began. Let me tell you, there's a value in standing up for what is true, DeSantis continued. And what the woke agenda is represents a war on truth itself. Fact. Don't tell me a man can become a woman because it's not true, DeSantis proclaimed. Don't tell me a man can get pregnant because it's not true, based. The Republican governor concluded, we're not going to root our society in things that are false. The truth will set you free. Right. So we go from that to this. This comes out of the Washington Examiner. He also defended himself against criticism that he elevated former White House Chief Medical Advisor Anthony Fauci during the height of COVID-19. Fauci was very important in the Biden administration, Trump said. He didn't want to stop China. He wanted to let everyone come in from China. I stopped it. I overrode it. I overrode many things he did. He was much less important to me. then you should have fired his ass if he was less important to you. Just saying. The Trump administration did award a president commendation for Fauci during his work for Operation Warp Speed, part of the government's work to quickly facilitate COVID-19 vaccines. Yes, what would normally take anywhere from 3 to 5 years, they shoved down the throats of the American people in 9 months. Yes, and with only 8 human trials. Look that up. Trump rivals have slammed his relationship with Fauci, who have garnered criticism from Republicans in his role for implementing COVID-19 lockdowns and mask mandates. His top rival, DeSantis, took aim at Trump last week for not firing Fauci when he had the opportunity to do so. Clearly, he would have been fired from the White House task force. There was no obligation to run him out at press conference after press conference, having him do media interviews, DeSantis said.
For years, you've been saying that the reason you didn't fire Anthony Fauci was because he'd been there for a long time, that you would have taken heat, that it would have created a firestorm, quoting your words.
And he said
Then
that
for the first
with,
time in May,
and he said that with Bill O'Reilly.
In May, you started saying, well, he's a civil servant, so I couldn't technically. The truth is, though, not only did you not fire Fauci, who is loathed by many, millions of Republicans in particular, but also some Democrats.
By the way,
You made him a star. You made him a star. This is the criticism of you, that you made him the face of the White House coronavirus.
You elevated
I think so.
him
That
to
he
prime
was at
minister
every press
status.
That he was running herd for the administration on COVID, and that you actually gave him a presidential commendation before you left office. Wouldn't you like a do-over on that?
That's a good press.
I don't know
She's
who
pressing
gave the
him.
commendation.
She's pressing
I
him.
really don't know who gave him the commendation.
Presidential commendation. One went out to Mark
Somebody
Mills, too.
probably
Hello.
handed him a commendation. He probably. But let me just tell you about Fauci. Fauci was very important in the Biden administration, much less important. If you know, he didn't want to stop China. He wanted to let everyone come in from China. I stopped it. I overrode it. I overrode many of the things he did. He was much less important to me. Now, with that all being said, he's been there for years. He was respected. He lost a lot of the respect because of COVID, but he was respected. And on COVID, if you know what I did, I let the governors run their states. And many of the governors opened up their states. Some of them didn't. Florida, by the way.
True.
Florida, by the way.
Here we go.
was closed. But if you take a look at Henry McMaster, he had his state, South Carolina, open.
Of course he was.
You take a look at
He backed you.
South
It's the reason
Dakota.
why you're
Take a
supporting
look at
him.
Tennessee. A lot of the states were not closed. And I allowed, it's the federalist system. I allowed the governors to do that. I also allowed Democrat governors to do that, but I don't think none of them did it.
Wouldn't you like to go back and try to clip his wings? This guy was pushing mask mandates on us. He wanted the most extreme measure at every turn.
Okay, look, I'm not one that blames a system that if you're civil service or if you have some other protection that you can't get fired, because I've done things that are...
Pause. I'm going to pause that right there, only because he says, I'm not here to blame the system. Dude, you blamed the system for losing the 2020 election. You said this system screwed you over. I'm just saying, yes, that's based in fact. But at the same time, you sound a little hypocritical. Just saying.
A lot worse than that.
You're big on the firing.
So yeah, I fired a lot of people. I fired Comey, and that was one of the great firings. I fired Comey, and then I fired a lot of other people in the FBI, and they were great firings because the deep state, and they were...
But yet you hired Christopher Wray. Who was worse than Comey. Good grief.
at work, and they were not good people. But I was not a big fan of Fauci. If you look at Ron DeSanctimonious, this guy said the greatest things. I can give you articles that Fauci's great, he's wonderful, we love him, we don't do anything without Fauci. This went on for months.
But he didn't.
Difference was that DeSantis came out and said, yeah, I made mistakes. We all made mistakes. I'm willing to own up to them. Are you?
Listen to Fauci.
He did 100%. Look,
He shut down Florida
I will
for a
give
month.
you, he shut down Florida.
For a month.
For a month.
Oh, he shut it down for a lot longer. He shut down the beaches.
Ask his Surgeon General. Ask his Surgeon General. Delapo. I think I'm butchering his name. I apologize. But yeah, ask him how long it went, because he made the suggestion to Ron DeSantis in regards to time frame as far as how long to keep it locked down, quote unquote, until they reopened.
He shut down the roads. He shut down the hospital. He was shutting down everything. He also had long lines of people getting the jab, as he called it. Let's all go get the jab. The guy tried to change history in Florida. Now, eventually Florida was open, but a lot of these other governors didn't shut down at all. South Dakota.
My thoughts. I'm going to edit this down a little bit because I didn't think I was going to let that roll on as long as I did. So my bad. But DeSantis calls him out regarding transgenderism, that he kind of hemmed and hawed about it. But I think for the most part, still didn't say, yeah, you know what? My thoughts on Caitlyn Bruce Jenner. Yeah, my bad. Didn't go there with that. And as you just saw when it came to Fauci, again, he tried to dance his way around it. Megyn Kelly was like, yeah, no, here's what you did. Try to keep him in that box. She tried to keep him in that box as best she could without hammering him. And of course, Trump getting all defensive, because that's what happens. Every time you try to push back against Trump, Trump gets defensive. It takes it personally. There's a difference between policy-wise and taking something personal. Policy-wise, yeah, you can butcher the policy all you want. You can cut up the policy all you want. But the second you come after me personally, then we have a problem. With Trump, no. Everything he did in the 4 years was personal. And if it went against the grade, if it went against his narrative, it became personal. Again, no responsibility or accountability. He kept on trying to push Fauci on Biden. He tried and then shifted Ron DeSantimonious. Again, he shut down Florida. Oh, he shut down much longer than that. Kelly was like, no. He shut it down for 1 month. 1 month. That you can look up, because that's exactly what he did. And I'm not here to pick sides. And I've said it before in previous videos that when it comes to Ron DeSantis did what he was supposed to do in Florida. But the main thing is, when it came to COVID year, he took responsibility for his actions. Again, as you just saw, Donald Trump still does not take any accountability or responsibility for how he handled the country when it came to lockdowns, vaccines, elevating Fauci to prime minister status. Still has not a my bad, not a mea culpa, nothing. And that is what irks me the most. I will support the guy. He beats DeSantis fair and square. If he, and also if he beats the rap, he doesn't go to jail. But at the same time, just a little, I'm sorry. My bad. I fucked up. That's all he had to say was Megyn Kelly. I fucked up. But no, Megyn Kelly did her best. And hey, so far, she did a hell of a lot better than Tucker Carlson did. And with that being said, I'm Jazz Berganzo. This is What's Next. Want to see more like this? Please leave a comment below. Like it, share it, subscribe to it. Hit that notification bell so you guys never miss a thing. And we'll see you next time. Peace.